is now 2 years old, so I'm wondering if it's affected. But I'm taking it.
Okay, I wish you a speedy recovery.
It usually is only a few days with the medication. At the most. It only happens like once or twice a year. So, it is what it is. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
We'll get started in just a minute.
Yeah, they're lined up at the door. We'll let them in.
You know, I don't think people know that we have an egg on Friday.
I know.
No, that's true. It's a Dodger game. I'm not a baseball fan, so.
Competing religious event. Yes.
There's,
Yeah.
sorry, as much as I love LA, I am not Dodger. I don't bleed Dodger blue.
Oh my gosh, you can't say that from the beam. You're
Can
just
I-
saying that because
can I
Rabbi
say-
Camrus isn't here. I know. Okay, but I also have a confession to make. I don't bleed Dodger blue, but any Detroit sports, of course.
Ah.
Of course. That's in my bones. Yes. Yes, go Tigers. And Lions. Not the Bears, but that's okay. My brother lives in Chicago, but we're Detroit family. He's Detroit through and through. Yep, and yes, Red Wings. Yes, but I did go to the other school, but I do appreciate the Wolverines when they're not playing the Spartans.
All right, Shabbat Shalom. Let's get started at 6 o'clock.
Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, let's get started. We'll start with Yedid Nefesh on page 10.
Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, meshochav el retzonach, meshochav ya la 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 el retzonach, yarutz avdach kemo hayal, yishtachave la 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 ya la 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 el muladach. Top of page 11. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, nari'a leto yishenu, nekadma fanav b'todah, bizmirot nari'a lo, nekadma fanav b'todah, bizmirot nari'a lo. Ki el gadol Adonai hu melech gadol al kol Elohim asher beyado mechkerei haaretz v'toafot arim lo, asher beyado mechkerei haaretz v'toafot arim lo. 40 שנה כהות בדובה ומרם תועב לבבהם, והם לא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי באפיהם יבואון אל מנוחתי.
Page 13.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. At the whatever color that is, maroon,
Yeah.
reddish, pink,
Red,
red, orange, page 14. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tahagel haaretz. Yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umlo. Yeram hayam, yeram hayam, yeram hayam, umlo. Bottom of page 16. O zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei lev simcha. Hu yishrei lev simcha. O zarua la tzadik, hu yishrei lev simcha. Hu yishrei lev simcha. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash. Lifnei Adonai kiva kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek v'yamim b'meisharim. Adonai malach yikezu amim yoshev
Page 19.
kiruvim haaretz. Bottom of page 20. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu veishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 21. I don't mean to take your job.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just a glorified page number caller today.
This is why they go to rabbinic school.
Yes, they have a class on this.
Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, ay, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, yishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, ay, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayshaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, vayarkidem kimo egel levanon, v'sirion כמו בין רעמים, ay, kol Adonai חוצב להבות אש, kol Adonai יאכיל מדבר, יאכיל אדוני מדבר קדש, kol Adonai יחולל הילות, ויחשוף יערות ובחלום. כולו אומר כבוד, איי איי איי, אדוני למה בו ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. איי 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 Ay, 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 ay. You know, Sarah, there's a hint in Psalm, is it 29 here, of what God has for breakfast. Do you know what God eats for breakfast every morning? It's right here, Adonai Oz. Ba-dum-bum.
Did that take me a second? Yes.
What does God have for breakfast every morning? Adonaios.
I'm sorry.
It's a play on Cheerios. Okay.
Okay, tough crowd.
Yes. Page
Strong.
23. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 25. והיו לשמחה שוסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כי ימסוס חתנה על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בהן פרצי, ונצמחה ונצמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת nekabela.
And we rise and face the opening door if we're able
בואי
to.
ושלום הטרף בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. You can turn,
Maybe
face us, I'm over here.
Yeah. Maybe seated.
Hi, how you doing tonight? Page 27. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Page 28. צדיק אתה מה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון דסבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד, כי ישר אדוני צורי צורי ולא הדלתה פה. אדוני מלאך גאוד, לבש אדוני עוזית הזהב, אף תיגון תבל בתימהות, נכון כיסח מאז, מעולם אתה.
Page 29.
מכל עוד מים רבים אדירים משברי ים, אדיר במרום אדוני, אדיר במרום אדוני. עדותיך נמנו מהול ביתך נאווה הקודש, אדוני לאורך ימים. יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, מעמד דברה כרותי וימליך מלכותי. Oh, wait. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
We'll do page 39.
One short.
Yes. With the blessing. We can do the blessing.
We don't need to rise because we're just one short. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv arivim, bechokma poteh שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשברותיהם בהרקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Page 40.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. 41. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, והיה. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ואמונה, כזאת כאמונה.
Page 43.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם. משה מרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי הנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 45.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מאתרי עד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים, ועל ירושלים. Amen. Page 46.
Page 46, and we rise for the Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And we'll continue with the silent Amidah to ourselves on page 47, and we'll go through and end at page 52.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam, Tasim Leolam.
You may be seated. I'm just going to do a quick drash for us here tonight. And one, ironically, it's actually right before this Torah portion starts. Exactly 2 verses that struck me while I was preparing for Lech Lecha. We all know the Torah portion starts off with Lech Lecha, God telling Abraham to Lech, to go, and I'll keep Lecha untranslated for a second. But what we often forget is there was actually a journey before the journey took place. And Avram wasn't by himself. He was actually with his family, and I think he had some animals and goats, but specifically with his father Terach. There's this very vivid and famous midrash of Terach owning an idol shop and Avram going in there and smashing all of the idols as this polemic against idol worship and against his father. But that's actually not in the Torah itself. We often get confused because it's so vivid and it's so famous. We think it's in the text, but it's not. It is midrash. But what does happen right before God tells Avram to go, Lecha, his father, they do a pit stop, and they stop in Haran. And his father, Terach, actually dies there at the ripe old age of 205. Whoa. I don't think we can't only read that Terach dying is his father dying, and that's it, zeu. What does Terach represent in Avram? It represents his past, where he came from, something he'll never be able to forget. It's very challenging to forget our parents, even if they're very different from us, even if they drive us crazy, or even if we love them dearly. It's nearly impossible to forget where we came from. However, not all of the parts of our past have to come with us and be with us through the end of the journey. I think Terach was born in a certain time, and he, of course, loved his son, I think, unconditionally, making an assumption. But to the point where, and I think I have proof of that because he went with him on this journey. But he couldn't get all the way there for Avram. He died on the way. And perhaps that's symbolic of how parts of us might have to die off, and we might have to leave in our past in order to go forward. Because then this Torah portion, Lech Lecha, starts off with God telling Abraham to go Lecha, and I'll translate that in a few different ways in a second, and get away from the place that you were born, the place that you know well, and go off into something new, and a new adventure. And that's exactly what he did, scary as it could have been. And I personally have always identified with Abraham in our Torah the most out of any person, especially at this part because I'm very different from my family and my parents, especially, and I am more observant Jewishly. I grew up mostly in a secular home, and yet my parents are my biggest cheerleaders. They might not understand all of the mishigas, all of the craziness of my observance, but nevertheless, they support me fully. They haven't become and they won't become religious themselves, but they're like my cheerleader, like my terach, who are cheering me on to the end. And I have left my home, like we were saying at the beginning of this, Detroit, Michigan. I lived in Israel for 2 years, moved without knowing a single person there, and moved here barely having anybody here for rabbinical school. And so I really identify with how scary it is to go out and leave everything you've known and start new. I love this word, lecha, that God says to Abraham. He could have just said go, but he added lecha. And Rabbi Jonathan Sachs in Covenant and Conversation actually gives us 4 different ways of translating lecha. First, he quotes Rashi, our medieval commentator, that lecha means go and journey for yourself, for your own benefit. Second, he says, maybe it means go with yourself, that you'll have influence over the land and people that you're with. And I love what he said. Abraham and Sarah were to be like perfume, leaving a trace of their presence wherever they went. Whoa. The third is go to yourself. Figure out who you are. And lastly, go by yourself on this journey alone, which can be scary, but I think that there's a special type of growth that happens when we journey by ourselves into the world and take risks. And so with that, I want to bless you with the courage to go lecha, for yourself, with yourself, by yourself, on all of the adventures that you can this year in order to get to know yourself. Shabbat shalom. Alrighty. And we'll stand for Kiddush on page 55.
Okay, it's just grape juice. Savri Chaverai, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Borei Peri Hadjofen. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Kishanu b'mitzvotav v'chatzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maasev reshit. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
For those of you who didn't pick it up, you'll notice I said Jofen. This is a callback to my Yemenite roots. And the Yemenite pronounced the Gimel with Dagesh like a J, J, and the Kamat underneath as an O. So it's Borei Pri HaJofen.
Okay. And we'll continue with Aleinu on page 56, because we're already standing.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latei gidula liotzer breshit, shelo atzanu kegoyei haratzot, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצא לארץ משהו. Okay, כי המלכות שלך היא ולעולמי עד תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, מהיום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Kaddish Yatom, page 58. Those in mourning or observing a yard site, we have a list, I believe.
We do have a list. I want to share our condolences with who are those sharing a yard site. Martin Dubin, remembered by Deborah Rosenberg. Bill Tenenblatt, remembered by Karen Tenenblatt Blau. And our bereavements, Ethel Eisman, aunt of Cameron Roth, Barbara Ann Berger, mother of Lon Berger, and Ronald Sands, mother of Jill Levin. And is there anyone here who is observing a yard site who would like to share the name of their loved one and their relationship?
Kaddish Yatom, page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba,
Amen.
be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
May their memories be a blessing. You may be seated. Lastly, I have a few announcements, and also want to say Shabbat Shalom and welcome to everyone who's joined us in person. Are we also online tonight?
We are also, I believe,
we're
online.
Okay.
So
Fabulous.
hello, everyone out there in internet world.
For those of you who I've not had the pleasure of meeting, I'm rabbinic intern Sarah Klein, and you'll see me in lots of different capacities here. And this is my second year interning at HAMAKOM. I don't usually lead Friday nights. This is only like my second one, so you'll be seeing some more of me this year, which is very exciting. Yay.
You know, Sarah, I don't usually lead Friday night either, but
Oh my gosh.
we're giving our clergy the night off. So this is probably like the fifth or sixth time I've led in about as many years.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Shahachianu, truly. Just a friendly reminder, daylight saving time. It ends this Sunday at 2 a.m. when the clocks are set back 1 hour. So enjoy that extra hour of sleep. And we'll see you for Mitzvah Day at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. The deadline to RSVP for next Fridays, Zamru Shabbat dinner is this Tuesday, so please RSVP on Sunday so we can get an accurate count for our caterer. Rabbi Kamras will speak about his 30 years in the rabbinate with a program titled My Lech Lecha Moments as a Rabbi. Ironic that he's not speaking tonight for Lech Lecha, but he'll be here tomorrow, luckily. And another Lech Lecha themed event on Sunday morning is on the 23rd is Parasha Lech Lecha, taking our next step with my dear mentor and friend Yiska Smith. She's one of our most engaging contemporary Jewish thought leaders, came in all the way from Israel, and you really don't want to miss this program. Please RSVP. JYN's Bowl-a-thon is Sunday, November 9th, 11 to 2 at Corbin Bowl. What a great location. So fun there. Enjoy some great bowling with friends and while supporting our Jewish Youth Network. Wow, we are busy. Okay. Sisterhood's Browse and Buy Boutique is my birthday, Sunday, November 16th. Woo-hoo. That's fun. at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here. You can shop for all of your Hanukkah gift giving, and there will also be family portrait sessions sponsored by our ECC and the second Nurture cohort gathering. So check out our Tuesdays e-news for the full details. Also, save the date, this isn't a while, but December 7th is Cantor Ron Snow's memorial concert that we have every year. And this year, it's the Great American Songbook. Our HAMAKOM cantors, including Chazan Emeritus Mike Stein, will perform, along with vocalist Alondra Ladd. Ooh. So make sure to check out our Tuesdays e-news and our website.
Cantor Raffi will be joining us for the
Really?
concert as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that's not in here. Okay, and Cantor Raffi, we have to go. She's incredible. Okay, so if you have any questions, please, about our programming, highly recommend checking out our calendar on our website. HAMAKOM, the place to celebrate Jewish life. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for coming, and thank you for making our minyan right at the end strong.
I have just one more announcement. There are still spaces available for next year's trip with Rabbi Camrus to India. My wife and I, along with other members of this congregation, will be joining the Melton Group to take a trip to Jewish India. So check out the website. It is October next year. There are still spaces available. Call the office and get your name on the list.
Shabbat Shalom.
I will close up tonight with a Ugandan melody. We'll do Hine Matov and Am Yisrael Chai. They come together. For those of you who joined me on Shabbat mornings, you are familiar with melody. Otherwise, it's easy to pick up. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Labawe kulio kulungi hue kusan yusa. Awolu ganda hokutula. Labawe kulio kulunge we kusan yusa. Awolu ganda hokutula. Amme, amme, am Yisrael chai. Amme, amme, am Yisrael chai. Oh, Davinu chai. Oh, Davinu Chai. Shabbat Shalom. That's my first time singing in Ugandan.
Woo!
Samson and Doritu, our rabbinic intern, taught it to me just the other week. So thank you, Samson. He's not here, so if I made a mistake, he can't see or hear, but there you go.
We're correct.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Can I get a ride to a bus from someone?
Can someone take Michael to the bus? Victory and Platt. I will take you, Michael. And we have an oneg. So
we do.
Please join us
In the social hall annex.
in the social hall annex for a little nosh. Shabbat Shalom.